Hi, Hamish here from mortgagesonline.co.nz. Just been reading through the monetary policy statement out this month from the Reserve Bank, so I wanted to go through some of the figures in there, and also just wanted to touch on what's happening in the property market and some things that might be on the horizon. So yeah, let's get into basically the stats. So the millions that have been borrowed from the banks. There has been a lot of news lately about the first home buyer market picking up, and it is true, but it's probably been gradually happening over the last 4 years in terms of them borrowing more money. In terms of the investor market, I think the last 2 years there has been a big drop off, but I would almost say that is almost that's pretty much stable now. I would think. Other homeowners, the rest of the market, it's definitely down. The last 2 years have definitely been down from the peaks. But I guess, yeah, look, I think definitely this is the money that's being borrowed. I would guess that some of this money, a little bit more money of this money is going to the regions than Auckland at the moment. But some of the drivers behind the property market, if we think about migration, now migration has been trucking along, but it has kind of changed actually. Few tightening of the rules last year, and we're seeing a little bit of a decline. However, this number is still pretty big for New Zealand. More than 50,000 migrants coming into the country. Now, if we were to think of this in a Trump-esque sort of way, are the migrants taking all our jobs? Well, no, not really. If we look at the last big boom and then the crash afterwards, which was around this kind of 2008, 2009, our unemployment rate has actually been going down since then. So that's kind of impressive, I would have thought. In fact, when we compare ourselves to other countries in the OECD, we are actually we're probably 10th lowest unemployment. So that's us over here. Now, surprisingly, our unemployment is less than Australia, United Kingdom, US, countries like Canada, Belgium. So I thought that was fairly impressive. Now, in terms of the average house price increases, what we're seeing is, well, there's probably no surprise, Auckland is pretty flat. Christchurch is a little bit on the decline. Now, I'm thinking about average figures in terms of that have come out from QV last month. If we're looking at places like Wellington probably about a 6.6% increase in average house prices. Interestingly though, so those are the main centres, you're looking at kind of a flat or slight increase. Interestingly though, it's the smaller towns, the places between 50,000 to 100,000 people that are actually seeing some pretty big increases for them really. So Rotorua, like 7% increase in average house prices, and then you've got kind of Napier, Hastings around double digit, like up to 17%, 12 to 17% increase in average house prices. Gisborne's there with double digits as well, 10% increase. So pretty interesting, and these places are also seeing increases in rents as well lately. So now I would guess the drivers around that is really is the same as it kind of has been. It's probably the deposit rule. It's a much smaller deposit down there. But I wonder if going forward there's going to be a shift towards looking for cash flow. Some things on the horizon for property investors, such as the ring fencing of negative gearing. So, as a property investor, if you're losing money in terms of cash flow, you'll be able to claim less as a tax refund. So I wonder if that's going to drive more of a search for positive cash flow in terms of property investment. So that's something to think about. Now, the other thing I think is on the horizon really is if you're looking in Auckland, in terms of the unitary plan, there's definitely going to be more apartments and townhouses coming up over the next kind of 5 to 10 years. That's the only way we can increase the supply, and the new council rules support that. So you would probably, if you're going to look for something nice, you probably want to get a little bit of land. Even 500 to 1,000 square meters in Auckland is pretty good bet sometimes, especially if it's in the right zone, because in some of those, in some places with a 700 square meter bit of land, you might be able to put 3 townhouses on it now with the new rules. So, and I'm seeing that there's a lot of properties going for fairly modest amounts in that kind of with that kind of subdividable potential. But look, thanks. One other thing I wanted to touch on, of course, is the whole meth house myth. So it's great to see someone put a line in the sand around this. A bombshell report shows there is no risk to humans from third-hand exposure to houses where meth has been consumed. That's a report out today. That's just reading off the Stuff website there. So yeah, it's great to see that someone providing a bit of certainty, because I know there's been a lot of scaremongering and a lot of money spent unnecessarily in terms of that. So yeah, good to see that come out. But apart from that, I mean, thank you for listening. I hope I've given you a little bit of insight here. If you have any need for a home loan or anything, like a top-up or anything, feel free to give us a call, us or the team, 625-4693, and our website, of course, mortgagesonline.co.nz. But yeah, thanks, and try to stay warm tonight.